Getting the adjustment right on Ford bolt-down style rocker arms can be pretty tricky. If you don't get it right, you've got to tear the whole thing down again, try another combination of shims or push rods, put it all back together, and hope for the best. But Comp Cams has a solution in the form of race-ready roller rocker arms that feature an innovative adjuster nut on the push rod side, but they still have bolt-down simplicity. The Comp Cams roller rockers are part number 1052-16, and they have a solid aluminum body and full roller fulcrum and tip. They come with the pedestals and the pedestal bolts, but the cool part is the adjuster on the push rod side. Once these are bolted down, you can set proper preload just by turning the adjuster and locking it tight. There are two things to remember when working with engine internals: cleanliness and lubrication. We cleaned all the new parts, then used a new lube spray from Comp to pre-lube all our parts to prevent failures on startup. This lube spray makes it easy to lube the lifters down in the bore, and Comp says its gel formula clings to the parts so they stay protected even if you store the motor for a while. We needed 2 cans for the whole job. Throughout the course of this job, you're going to be turning the engine over by hand a lot, so we recommend taking the spark plugs out, which eases some of the compression pressure and makes it easier to do. The Comp rockers simply bolt down to the heads. Drop the push rods in, then loosely bolt the intake and exhaust pair down and rotate the engine assembly to the point where the exhaust valve just starts to open. You'll be able to identify the exhaust rocker as it's the one that lines up with the exhaust port on the header. If the exhaust valve is opening, it means the intake valve is on its base circle and it's in the proper position to adjust. First, tighten the pedestal bolt down to its recommended torque spec. You should notice some play in the push rod. Now you can begin to tighten the adjuster to where it just makes contact with the push rod. Some people tighten the adjuster nut to where they can't spin the push rod with their fingers, but Comp says that this can gall the ends of either the push rod or the cup inside the rocker arm. What they recommend is to wiggle the rocker arm up and down and tighten the adjuster nut to where you can't wiggle it anymore. This point is called zero lash. With the slack taken out and the rocker at zero lash, tighten the adjuster another half turn to set the proper preload on the push rod and the lifter. Then tighten the lock nut and you're ready for the exhaust valve. To adjust the exhaust valve, turn the engine over to where the intake valve is just beginning to open and repeat the process on the exhaust valve. Tighten the pedestal bolt, set the adjuster to zero lash, and give the adjuster another half turn and lock it down. That's all there is to it. Finish setting the other valves and you'll have a high-performance valve train that's properly adjusted with minimal valve noise. You're going to want to check for clearance between the rocker arms and your valve covers before you bolt them down. Stock 5.0 Mustang-style valve covers have a baffle inside that's going to need to be removed so the rocker arms don't hit it. You can be confident that these Comp roller rockers will have less friction and deliver higher performance whether you've got a street-driven car like this or a full race machine. Check out more details on our website, V8TVshow.com.